Hello there. I'm Kellic.
Oma.
Schreier.
Flynn.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, you all had made your way back to Addersfeld, and after a brief discussion with Melleru, Flynn found himself questioning what he was doing there. What is the Iron Light providing him? He went in to speak with Melleru, and after some words were exchanged, brought in Zeta, and Flynn was actually asked to leave the room as Melleru debriefed Zeta, and then sent Flynn's enemy, Zorkal, off after whatever questions may need be answered in this case. After that, Flynn went to explore the Ironlight Castle a little bit more. Chath equipped him with a brand new shield that would allow him to not only defend himself, but also have his hand free to cast magic. And he met back up with the group. And after that, you all had a brief discussion on what to do next, and after picking up a couple of possible side missions to do along the way to make yourself a little bit of coin, you made your way back to James's house, where he greeted you. You all made a wonderful dinner with his daughter Flora, and as you all sit there, take a deep breath, with this beautiful meal in front of you, the flames dancing over your features, what would you all like to do?
I'd like to pull aside Xavier. I would like to position myself so I'm sitting next to him, if that's possible, first of all.
For sure, definitely.
All right, and then I'm going to lean over to him and say, I've been meaning to get a second opinion about this. I'm going to reach into this, one of my little satchels, and I'm going to pull out what Hayfried gave me way back when, and I want to say, what? I've been a little bit given some thought, and I was at first a little reticent to even try to attune to this. But what would be your take on it?
And I raise it up to his face.
I would have to spend a little bit more time with it. It looks like a beautiful piece of jewelry, but looks can be deceiving.
I don't know how long that would... when you say a little bit of time, how long would that be?
10 minutes?
Oh, 10 minutes, absolutely. Would you mind? Would you mind terribly?
Maybe after we finish eating.
Oh, of course.
Like a bowl of rice is being passed.
This is being passed
to
over,
him,
yes.
And he scoops some out onto his plate and passes it to you.
Yes, I'm good on the rice, yeah, but thank you.
Yeah. And you give it to him?
Yes.
All right, he takes it and he puts it in his pocket, and I'll, as soon as we're done here, I'll try and find a quiet room and tell you what I can.
Beautiful.
Do I overhear that?
Yeah. You weren't saying it quietly, right?
No.
And it's a pretty small room. You would be able to hear that, yeah.
Could I come with you when you do the magic?
Yeah,
stuff?
You'll have to be quiet, but
I can do that.
I just need to concentrate.
You got it.
Okay, yeah. Then, we can do that.
Got it. Okay. Could you also pass the rice over here?
Yeah, here you go.
Thank you. And I'll take a scoop, but a little bit bigger than his. Put it on my plate.
Okay.
Pass it on.
At first I thought this might be a little too much seasoning, Flora, but I stand corrected. It's delightful. Thank you.
How dare you? You think that I
No,
cannot make...
It's not about you. I have a certain
Honey,
palate.
it's okay. I was joking.
I'm so sorry. Thank you all the same. It's truly nice to be here.
Well, I'm glad you guys found your way back here. I'm very glad to finally put faces to all the stories.
Yeah. Are you? Were you from here? We didn't make your acquaintance when we first met, James.
Born and raised. Actually, right here. I pretty much dinners all my life here at this table. But nowadays I spend a couple days here and then a couple days out on the boat fishing and camping out there, and then bringing home what I got.
Well, I know James appreciates what you're doing, but we all do as well. It's good to look after your elders.
It's good to be appreciated.
Do you happen to know in Addersfeld if there's been any change in production of metal men? As a matter of fact, we've come across one in our travels who, he's missing some components, and we've been kind of in the market trying to help him out.
Metal men.
I know it wasn't a main thing they made here for when I was here, but I thought maybe because of the war that might have changed.
I don't know about the production. I've seen one or two in my days, but I can't speak to any sort of production.
Right. Thanks anyway.
Of course. If I spot one, I'll let you know.
That'd be great. How is the attitude? It's been a little while since we left, and last we saw, especially in the outskirts of town, it was a stressful time.
Tensions are starting to rise a little bit. Haven't quite hit here yet, but beyond the wall, things aren't looking too great. I'll be honest. When I go out and fish, I usually drop a couple off out there before I make my way in here.
As we are the heroic sort, I do hope to someday be able to bring some stability to the slums here. Give those people outside the walls a roof over their heads. I think this city's capable of providing that. It's just... I need some direction.
Well, it doesn't take much to start. I just started by picking up a fishing pole. Wasn't too difficult. One step at a time.
That's right.
Did you say you hold on? Did you say you go out and give fish to the outposts too, or just
some of the outlying camps on the outside of the city?
Okay. Have you seen any of the outposts?
What do you mean the outposts?
Have you seen the Coldcrest outpost?
I've never been. No, that's too close to the front line for me.
Oh. Have you heard anything?
I'm not a fighter.
Is it still okay? Does it still stand?
I couldn't tell you, really. I go out and I fish. I don't know too much about military intel. I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
If that is to be believed, I think we would have heard about it.
Yeah, you're right. Hope your friend's okay.
He's a strong one.
Let's hope so.
He'll be fine.
I am not saying anything because I'm busy chewing certain portions of food and feeding them to Tito.
Everyone is not so subtly trying to avert their eyes.
Naturally.
I'm staring, dead-eyed, at what's happening between Tito and Shreya, and I'm just like, my mouth is wide open, and I have a piece of fish on my fork, and I'm just staring at them, and I can't look away.
Also, in addition to doing feedings, there's a little bit of a intricate talon sort of scratching of the underside belly area. And it starts to take on a sort of ritualistic feeding.
Xavier!
Okay, then.
You said something, well, perhaps this is not a dinner conversation, but you might be able to help Zeta with her predicament.
I mean, I've spent the last portion of my life trying to help keep Olma calm. I don't see why I couldn't apply some of those same principles here. Obviously, a slightly different situation. But I've got some tools in my belt that I think would be able to help and sort of keep all the insanity at bay.
I just shoot a comforting look over to Zeta and like a light nod.
And you look over and she's sort of got her head down in her food and she's eating, and you can tell that she's very closely listening to your conversation with Xavier, but not looking like she's trying to listen. She's sort of got like that blank stare as she's eating her food.
Where are you staying, Xavier? Are you staying with Hayfried? I can't remember.
No, I
You got something figured out?
I thought I'd probably just find a place here in Outersfeld until I could get my bearings. I've got a lot more work I need to do, and he looks over at Olma. I've got a lot more work I need to do that I don't think will be able to be accomplished here in Outersfeld, but at least laying down a base of operations here would probably be in my benefit.
Cool. Just to know maybe where to reach you, I guess. I guess we can do that with... I'll poke my head and look at Kellic. That one, but... good to know where you at, I guess. In case we need you.
True.
Yeah, if I find a good spot for myself, I can definitely let you guys know.
That would be nice.
Of course.
We don't want to lose track of you again.
Of course not.
Because if I don't hear from you, I'm going to think you're just like in prison again.
Fair assumption. Yeah.
James, you may or may not be surprised to hear our most recent exploit was a heroic escape from the prison within the capital of Kaldor.
Oh, now you're just messing with me.
No, I'm being sincere.
Oh. See, I told you. And he looks over at Flora. The heroes, one and all.
We were in a tight spot for a bit there, but we managed. Through some luck, but...
I'm sure you did more than manage. I'm sure by the end of it, they were running for the hills.
Yeah, I think that's how it went. I think that's how it went.
Yes, they were running for the hills.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if the war is not over soon as a result of our impact on the capital.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No. It was all right. We made it out, and we were able to rely on each other.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
How about dessert?
I was just about to say that.
I will. I'll be fine. You all enjoy.
I'll eat his.
Yes, Flynn will have mine.
And James and Flora get up and begin clearing some of the plates off of the table. And they go over to the counter. They open up some of the cabinets. And Flora pulls down a big bowl of different fruits. You see some grapes in there, some oranges, some bananas, some strange-looking fruits that you guys can't quite identify. And James reaches over to one of the other cabinets and pulls out a little thing of syrup and puts both of them down on the table. And he says, "This is a classic here at our house, so I would encourage you all to enjoy."
What's it called?
It's called fruit and syrup.
I'll grab a plate and I'll put some fruit on there, grab the syrup and put it on there, and just grab the spoon to start shoveling it in.
And James grabs one of the bananas and chops it up on his plate, puts a little bit of syrup on the top. And before long, you all have finished the dessert.
Yeah, you already know what happens in my corner of the table.
Do we want to look?
I think we can imagine.
Yes.
Once I've finished my dessert, I will head back to the living room or the main room where I was with James drinking wine.
Yeah, so it's the living room and sort of the dining area are all in this one sort of big room.
And I'll just pour a little bit more wine, sit down, pick up the drawing that I left, and sit by the fire. Kind of finish up the details, finish up some of the food that was on the table that Flora was cutting up, and kind of finish up the drawing as best I can.
Okay, I'm going to have you make a sleight of hand check for me.
Yee!
Are you still at disadvantage?
Yes, sir, I am. Because I never learn.
Nope.
That is a total of 10.
A total of 10.
Yes.
Are you showing it to anyone?
What does it look like to me? Does it look good to me?
It looks pretty good to you, but you know how sometimes you make something and you've been looking at it for too long, so your vision of it is a little bit different than someone with fresh eyes on it? A little bit of that might be setting in to where you can, it looks great to you, but to someone else, they can probably identify what it is, but probably not a masterpiece.
Has anyone else made their way to this area yet?
I'm just sitting at the table, watching everyone eat their syrup. And
If they're still
fruits.
busy, I might try and fix parts of it. I don't know if I can do that.
I'll give you one more go.
Okay. I'm gonna try. I'm like, I'm gonna
Make
try
another sleight of hand.
I'm gonna try and fix some of it because I know that the last one was a masterpiece, and I'm gonna try and do James right, and I don't. I rolled a 7. Did I make it worse?
You don't make it any worse.
Okay.
It's sort of like you erase a part of it. You didn't really like how some of the faces turned out, so you erase some of the faces, and then you redraw them in. But somehow it's like the exact same lines as you did before, and you just can't quite get over that hurdle.
I flipped the notebook shut and put it in my bag and just kind of sit by the fire. And I'll actually pull out the Iron Light book, and I'll start looking at that while I sip on the wine.
Okay.
Sit by the fireplace.
All right. Okay. What are the rest of y'all doing?
Is this a single-story building or two?
So there's the market on the bottom
Yeah.
where James sells his fish,
Sure.
and then the upper floor is
where we
his
are.
residential.
So
He lives above his shop. So you guys are
Right.
currently on the second floor.
So, are there any windows on the?
Yeah, there are a couple windows.
I cast my mind back to just longing and remembering a time at night when I would look out the window and see something friendly and lovely to me. And I look over and I want to see if I can see the moon from the window.
Okay. You go to there are two windows.
Oh, there's two of them. Okay.
Yeah, so
I'll
there's
check both.
one at the front and one at the back.
Sure.
And you walk up to the front, sort of where the stairs are that led you up to this second floor, and you look out and you can't see anything, and you're a little disappointed, but then you go to the window at the back and full moon right there.
I'd like to meditate for just a minute and commune with the moon.
All right.
I'm going to turn to Kellic and to Xavier and just look at them both. Take a deep breath. This is nice.
Tez,
I haven't had dinner at the table in a long time.
I know.
I haven't seen sunlight in a long time.
Yeah, well, there's no sunlight right now either, but
Well, earlier today there was.
there was. It was nice.
Yeah. How long were you in there, Xavier?
Time starts to get a little fuzzy. When you can't, you don't have a regular sleeping cycle. Best guess, probably 4 months.
Yeah. But not always in those, or from the get-go were you in those those devices?
Pretty much from the start, ma'am.
Did they tell you why they arrested you?
No, that's, a lot of people get locked up there and never know what they did.
Did they ever question you?
They had a couple people come in and try to pry things from my mind. They had, some people in the beginning came in and they were asking me some questions, and I was being I was being stubborn. I didn't give them anything. But they just sort of came in and tried to sort of establish I don't know if you call it a friendship or a relationship. It wasn't any deep questions. It was more like get to know you questions to form comfortability. And I wasn't giving them anything. So they brought in some people who can, use spells that extract things from your mind. And it's a painful process. I don't know exactly what they took. But I'd do it all again if I could make sure that they didn't get the information that they wanted.
I wonder what kind of information they wanted. Zeta, did they ask you any questions?
I mean, they didn't. I kind of had a similar experience where they had a couple of people come down, and it was very similar. Thinking back on it, sort of just some very, very basic questions. Just it seemed to me like they were trying to get a scope of how cooperative I was going to be, and I wasn't very cooperative. We didn't get to the stage where they were extracting things from my mind yet, but I feel like it might have been getting there.
Wow, so you don't even know what they wanted to know.
I don't know what they wanted from me. I assume it had to do with my little vacation.
Sure, that makes sense. The contract. Murdering somebody potentially.
It's curious, what stake, I guess, does the military of Kaldor have in the goings-on of the outcast? And in whatever it is that I have to think that the reason for your arrest had to have something to do with what you were researching, Xavier.
Xavier chimes in. I mean, I was pretty much just looking through history books. Apparently I was looking through the wrong ones as someone caught wind of me and what I was looking for. But I was just looking up Ulma's family history.
You don't think that my family is part of the outcast, do you? Do you think, oh my god, are my parents part of the Red Wolf?
I have no reason to believe that. I spoke with, like I said, the farmhand who had worked with them his entire life. And when I spoke with him, he said they had no, best I can put it, no evil intent. They seemed as kind of people as you can have. They paid him well. They gave him the farm when they left. They seemed to be very generous people. And from, the accounts that I came across, your parents seem to be as kind as any people can be.
Am I understanding correctly that they gave Ulma up?
That would be correct, yes. More accurately, her great-grandmother was the one who actually dropped her off. But as far as I can tell from the farmhand, the parents were well aware and encouraged what was happening. They wanted to make sure she was safe.
And was there any determination as to why?
He didn't know. I have a pretty good sense for reading people, and he seemed genuine in what he was talking about.
But you're going to keep looking.
Yeah.
You have a
yes.
path.
I'm going to keep looking, and hopefully with a little assistance now. And he looks over at Zeta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're unable to take care of a child, then I suppose it makes some sense to try and find someone who can.
He did say that there was night after night for weeks and nearly months back and forth discussion on what they should do. It did seem to be a difficult decision to let her go. Not on a whim, it seems.
I'm sorry, Ulma. It's hard to be without well, I know it's hard to be without a parent. I don't know what it's like to have never known them.
Well, I don't know what it's like to know them, so it's pretty normal to me.
I suppose so. If they're, I guess it depends on the kind of people they are.
I like to think they're good.
I guess that's an advantage. I know my parents were good. But sometimes it's still hard to be their son. And like, I just like look down into my on the like my placemat on this table. I just look down.
I'm sorry, Kellic.
Oh, no, there's nothing to be sorry for. I had a good childhood.
How do we even know what that is? If we don't know what a bad childhood is. Because I had a good childhood.
Well, yours isn't done yet.
It's not?
No, I don't think so. I joined the temple when I was around your age. I started studying, and then when I was 19, I left for the temple proper here in Addersfield. And that's when my childhood ended, and I started having to make big decisions.
So
and
your childhood
mistakes.
ends when you make big decisions?
When you put it that way, I guess so.
Well, then I think my childhood is over.
I kind of give a puzzled look over to Xavier.
He shrugs back. He's shaking his head. He doesn't know how to answer that.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't have to be. Truly, the big decisions that have been thrust on you haven't been fair ones.
This is just the way it is for me.
I suppose it could be worse. And I just kind of like look around to the table and room of happy people and family and good vibes.
Xavier speaks up and he finishes his last bite of the orange that he had. If you don't mind, I'm gonna just step into the other room. I got your friend wants me to take a look at something. So if you don't mind, 10 minutes. I'll be right back.
Sure.
And he gets up and he shoots a look over to Flynn.
I'll pack my book, throw it in my bag, leave my stuff near the chair, just go in with him.
All right. And he steps over into a bedroom and
I'll hop up and sit on the bed. Can I sit here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't move around too
Don't
much.
move. Oh man.
And
Okay.
just don't make too much noise. Yeah. Observe all you want, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
He takes a deep breath. He puts the bracelet down on the ground in the middle of the room, and he sits right in front of it, crisscross. He reaches back into his bag, pulls out a couple of components. He pulls out what look like some dried leaves, a little pile of salt, and starts to arrange them in a configuration around the bracelet.
I'm watching like intently.
And he closes his eyes, and he falls very relaxed, and just stays there. And this room is completely silent. There is a little bit of muffled noise coming from the outside where everyone's still talking and having conversation and everything. But he sits there in complete silence for about 4 minutes.
Okay.
And then he takes a big breath in.
Get excited again?
And then he begins moving his hands around. And he begins verbalizing different verbal components to this spell. And as his hands are moving around, you can see his fingertips begin to glow a little bit. And he continues this ritual for another 6 or maybe 7 minutes. When he finally drops his hands, he opens his eyes. He says, "All right. Did you learn anything?" Yeah, that's what I thought. He goes and he grabs the bracelet, puts it back in his pocket, walks out of the bedroom. Is Flynn actually sleeping?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
I fell asleep in that bed for sure. I saw some of it, but like I passed out.
He very
I got
quietly
exhausted.
puts the bracelet back in his pocket, leaves, very quietly shuts the door, walks back up to Shreya, and he says, I got your little thing figured out here.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Did I interrupt something?
Yeah, it's fine. What is? Oh, yes.
Yeah, your little.
Well, what did you glean? What did you? Well, what is it?
Well, it's an interesting item. Basically, you got to sort of, in order to use it, you kind of have to get to know it a little bit, familiarize yourself with it and how you can actually use it. But once you got it all figured out, it's pretty much, that feeling when like, I guess the feathers stand up on the back of your neck, where you sort of get that tingly feeling that someone's watching you.
Yes.
It sort of amplifies that, and it calls upon that intuition that you got, and really lets you, tap into that a little bit.
So a gift and a curse, I see.
Yeah, you could call it that.
I'm game for something like that.
And I
All right.
grab it out of
You
his
take
hand.
it. So, Shreya, what you have in your hands is an item that you have to attune to. So you have to spend some time concentrating on it in order to actually use it. But it is a bracelet that gives you advantage on spooky vibes checks.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to immediately. Oh, yes. Yes.
And you look down at the bracelet itself, and it looks like a bunch of like blue pearls all around it, with these black and white dots on each of the pearls. But now you look a little bit closer, and you can see that they almost look like eyeballs on this
Yes.
necklace, which kind of makes sense for what he was telling you. Yeah, you now have this item. So you need to spend at least an hour attuning to it.
I am going to bring it in to my communion with the moon and see if that can help me attune.
All right, for sure.
Of all people, I feel like
I know.
now this is gonna be like super paranoid.
I know.
Shreya.
Like, could he get more paranoid?
He was already kind of on the edge when he's in enclosed spaces. Imagine now.
Shreya, good luck with that.
Yes. Good luck dealing with me.
Dinner was so lovely. Thank you so much for having us. I'm so happy to see you and Flora doing so well.
It was amazing to see you all as well. As you can see, our place isn't too large, but I'd love to offer you something. We've got 2 bedrooms, and I'm sure we could put out some blankets out here if you'd like to stay here the night.
Oh, that's so kind of you, but I'm sure you guys need the bedrooms. So,
We can sleep out here for a night. That's no worry at all.
oh, well, we couldn't. There's a place we've stayed nearby. We could go there. Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
But that's so very kind
Well,
of
it's
you.
always open. The offer is always open for you.
Thanks so much, James. I'm so glad we met you.
I'm glad I met you too.
I suppose it's probably going to be that time.
Where's Flynn?
Oh, yeah, I don't. I think Xavier said he was going to show him something. And he
Yeah,
went
he's
over?
asleep in the other room.
Oh, all right.
He's just
Oh.
knocked out.
Oh, we should wake him up then.
just typical.
I can wake him up.
I think he deserves for you to wake him up on.
Okay. And I'm gonna trot over to the first bedroom, and I look inside, and he's not there. And I go to the other bedroom, and I look inside, and there he is, passed out. And I slowly creep over to him, and I pull my face very, very close to his ear, and I say, "Flynn!"
I cast shield.
Naturally.
What? Oh, what? Hey.
You fell asleep.
Yeah.
We should go.
What is comfy here?
Yeah, we'll find somewhere else comfy. Come on, nobody can carry you.
What are you talking about? People can totally carry me.
No. Come on, or we're gonna leave you here.
I mean, this bed's pretty comfy.
Okay then, goodbye.
Start to fall back over.
And I punch him in the shoulder.
Okay, fine. I'll get off the bed.
I didn't mean it.
No, it's fine. I probably deserved it. And I'll head out to grab my bag.
All right. But with that, goodbyes are said, and you all head back out into the night. Where are you all headed?
We are headed to
Deep drow in.
Deep
Deep
Drow
Deep
in.
Drow.
Deep drowl.
I was
Deep
like the perch
drowl.
brawly, the deep drowl. I can't
Perch
remember.
Brolly's Oakenspire, baby.
Yeah, deep
Well, we
drowl.
definitely don't want to go
No, I
there.
think that's off limits.
We're
for now.
teleporting back, going to the
DM
Perch
Own
Brolly.
this thing now.
Am I attuned yet, or do I have to keep attuning as I walk?
Yeah, by the time you
I
were
can,
on
I
our
can,
walk
I can
back.
walk and chew gum, you know.
On our walk back.
No,
in
it
the
was
night.
it was kind of a slow night, but
okay.
right at the end of it, you were able to finish your attunement, and it might
Thank
have
goodness.
even been just a little bit quicker than you were expecting with your connection to the moon there. So
Well, in that
Yeah.
case, I would like to, as we step back into the night air, look down at the bracelet and make a spooky vibes check.
okay, make a spooky vibes check
Let's
at advantage.
go.
Make
Let's
a
go.
spooky vibes check.
Natural 20.
No way! What an item! I love it.
Natural 20. You really tune into this bracelet.
I can feel the power already.
And are you waiting until you're outside, or
yes, until
Okay.
we're in the night air.
Well, I don't trust that question.
Is there anything spooky that you would be able to see or hear?
A natural 20.
In a natural 20, I know.
Everything.
I want to go through my head and just make sure that I'm giving you good information. You walk outside and you completely attune to this bracelet. Try and tap into its energy. And all of a sudden, you feel this sense that someone's watching you. And then you hear a door slam about 300 feet behind you. As one of these houses, just sort of along the market, door slams.
Everyone, I'm I don't know if this is just me, but I think someone might be watching us and watching where we're going.
What?
I don't know if they have. They made a big deal about spies in Kaldur, but I don't know if they also have them here as well.
It'd take an athletic sort to spy on us. At this point, we've teleported halfway across the world.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
I'm gonna look around. Do I see anything?
Make a perception check for me.
5.
Is a quiet street, lightly illuminated by these colored bulbs on the corner of each building.
Try, can you carry me?
Flynn, you can walk. We already talked about this.
I'm just so tired.
We're going to the inn. Let's just go. Let's just get there, okay?
Okay, fine.
And we're gonna walk to the Deep Drowl Inn.
Okay. You guys take some time, walk to the Deep Drowl Inn, but eventually you get there, back to this now familiar spot. You walk in, and sitting there behind the counter, sort of just flipping a coin up in his hand, letting it land, putting it face down on his other hand, looking at it, taking the coin, flipping it again, putting it on his hand. Hey, you guys are kind of late coming in. What can I do for you?
We'd like a pair of rooms for the lot of us.
That's right. Weren't you all here a while ago?
It's been a
now.
while.
Long enough.
Returning customers. Love it. 2 rooms?
Yes. 2 on the nicer side, I suppose.
Yes.
There's 7 of us. So I think we need 3 rooms.
Well, at least.
I'll tell you what, you're returning customers. I'll give you the 3rd room for free.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
Awesome.
We'll take it.
Just for the one night?
Just one, yes.
5 gold.
I'll hand him 5 gold.
Okay.
You still have gold.
Yeah.
Completely
out.
Yeah.
Well then.
All right. I mean, you guys have been here before. Do you want me to take you up to your room, or do you kind of know?
No, that's all right.
Okay. And he reaches down beneath the counter and tosses Kellic the key. The 3 keys, actually.
Thank you kindly. Nice to be on familiar ground.
Of course. Always is.
How do we want to?
I'll stay with Xavier and Zeta.
I think that makes sense.
I think so too.
Good.
I'll just stay in this room and I'll just walk in.
Cheeto and I will find a corner over here.
Calic, that means you have to be with him.
With
I point to Flynn's room.
well, as long as I don't have to carry him, it's fine. I think I'll manage.
All right, so
But
you
I
all
better not wake up to any new spells.
No, we'll find out.
you all head off into your rooms. Are we doing any watches? Or yes?
If there's a window in my room, is there?
There is, yeah.
Okay, so I put the tip of my staff to the window, and I would just like to grow some vines down toward the door, and I would like to keep those vines just attached to the bottom of my staff.
Okay. So your staff is sort of just standing up?
Yes, it's standing up, and it's the vines are sensitive. Yes.
Okay.
Well, could I know if they are jostled in the night?
Are you casting the spell Alarm? Or is this just a
No, I don't
druid
have. I
craft?
do not have alarm.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
'Cause I was
don't.
going to say, I don't know if druids get alarm, so I wanted to make sure that was...
This would simply be a physics question.
I like it. Okay. So you're saying if someone were to touch the vines, would it be enough to disturb the staff to make it fall over and make a noise?
Yes.
Love it. I'm going to say yeah. Yeah. So you're druid crafting vines.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, simple vines out the window down toward the entrance.
So yeah, you make these vines come out of the staff, and you test it a couple times, and you're able to sort of poke some of the vines, and the staff falls over. You catch it, and you prop it back up. Druidcraft once again, and this is probably a pretty solid device if someone's coming in through the door.
And as I see that it works well enough, some of that anxiety from those spooky vibes, you can see physically I relax just a little bit.
There you go.
I'd like to just gently nudge open the door of Oma and Zeta and Xavier's room. And sort of just like place my hand in that crease to just sort of feel the air within that room and say, Revelare Veritas, and cast Detect Good and Evil in that room, which if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of me, I know. Similarly, I know if there's a place or object within 30 feet that has been magically consecrated or desecrated. So basically, I'm just checking the fabric to see if Zeta and Xavier are safe for Olma to be sharing a room.
Okay, for sure. So you just barely creak open the door that Olma, Zeta, and Xavier are already in, and you cast this spell, and you don't sense anything that would catch your eye within this room. And as you just barely begin to close the door again, you hear a tiny little bell, just the tiniest, faintest little charm in the room, a little ding, 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 ding. And you hear Xavier, "Oh, I just set that up." And he sort of undoes some string.
Nice.
As you see, he was in the middle of casting the alarm spell to the perimeter of the room.
All right.
It was good. Okay, I'll do it again. And he sort of reels back his string. He gets the little bell, and he begins setting it up once again.
Good night, Calic.
Good night, Alma. Sleep tight.
Yeah, we're good in here.
Yep, I know. I know. And then I will sort of effectively take first watch over Flynn while he's sleeping, just for the sake of our room, I guess.
Okay, make a perception check for me.
I cocked? I guess not. Okay. 14.
14. You're sitting there. You keep an eye on Flynn. Every once in a while, you think you can hear like the faintest. It's like this maybe thunder. But it sounds more like like a cannon going off. I think maybe off in the distance, it could just be your ears playing tricks on you.
Can I look out the windows to see?
Yeah, you can't see anything. Just every once in a while, you think you hear a...
And there's no storm clouds in the sky?
Nope. Sky is clear.
Hmm. DM, do I know how far... Coldcrest would be miles from us.
Yes, it would.
Okay. Then I can't. I don't think. All right. Well, I will be unsettled by that, but I have no recourse really besides discomfort. So as I go to sleep, I will rustle my pillow a little bit to try and find a comfortable position.
Okay. Kellic, now sleeping. Flynn, now sleeping. Shreya and Tito, now sleeping.
Yes, in a beautifully crafted nest.
Oh, and yeah, he's fully joined you in the nest. He is not touching the bed. Olma, are you doing anything? Are you
Yeah, I'm sleeping.
Okay.
We have an alarm spell up.
You do.
Before going to bed, though, I would have asked, I would have turned to Zeta and Xavier and just said, I know that you're good right now, Zeta, but we don't really know what caused you to not be good that one time. Do you have any suggestions? Xavier, do you have any suggestions?
I might. I don't know if this will help, but we can see. And he reaches into his bag and pulls out some of this like green powder. It almost looks like very finely crushed glass, but yeah, like a very powdery substance. And goes over and in a very similar mark to something you've seen before, he sort of pushes it over her brow and over her forehead. And he says, that might help her out. At the very least, while she's sleeping, it might help her resist something.
Does it look like what Flynn does when he does protection?
It looks exactly like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, that's good enough for me.
I mean, no guarantees on that, but I think we should be safer than if not.
Zeta, if you become a monster, just like make lots of noises, I guess.
I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will.
Cool. Then I'm comfortable with that.
All right. Then the next morning comes. You all wake from your sleep.
Morning. Morning, Kellic.
Morning, Flynn. How you doing?
Better.
Good.
Yeah.
We need you in fighting state if we're going as far as Nestle Valley.
Yeah, after that food, I just... Ooh.
Yeah, it'll knock you out. Couldn't you like that?
I tried to stay up to watch the spell. I mean, it was pretty cool. He did it was like a longer form of casting that I haven't really seen before, but I fell asleep at the end.
It's important to take breaks. I studied a lot to be a cleric of Famir, and sometimes I found I performed better under pressure when I didn't stay up all night studying, Just a thought that maybe not every spell casting is an opportunity for you to learn that spell.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Yeah, you already have so much training in your head. There's only so much room in there.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I take a break every once in a while.
Just every once in a while. I respect the rigor you apply to your studies.
All right. Not all the time, though.
Not all the time, of course.
Do you think they have breakfast here? I can't remember.
I don't think it was supplied, but we could probably purchase some.
Well, I'm going to go find out. I'll meet you downstairs.
All right.
I'm going to grab my stuff and head downstairs. Just see if there's food, snack, read the book.
Okay. You go downstairs and you see that there's just like very simple, like some fruit laid out. Just something very simple.
I will grab a fruit.
There's like a little tea in a
Sure. I'll grab a
Mug.
little bit of tea, a little apple, and kind of sit down in a chair. And while I wait for everyone to wake up, I will take out The Tragedy of the Loss. And I will just flip through it. I don't know how long it's going to take for them all to come down, but I'll just flip through a few pages at the beginning, see if I glean anything while I eat my apple and drink my tea and wake up a little bit.
Okay. As you're reading through this, you're just reading through the first little bit of it.
Yeah.
And as you saw before, the first page is a map of the waste, the desert that encompasses pretty much the entire center of this continent of Elbor. And you start reading through the first couple pages, and you begin to read about towns and settlements and even some cities that were once there.
Like
that are
in the waste, like where the crater is, or where the area is. Is it a crater?
No, it's just a desert.
Desert, okay.
And as you're looking through some of the stuff, you pull out your map, and it just doesn't line up. And you look at your map where there's this desert in the middle of the continent, and you look at, you continue reading, and what's described in the book is not a desert. Definitely not a desert. You're reading about towns and cities that were there, that were thriving, forests, rolling hills, no desert.
Interesting.
And that is when the rest of the party comes down.
I would actually like to say, Tito and I will have woken up before sunrise, as I would have whipped up my little vine contraption. And Tito and I, and we don't have to go all the way into this by any means, but we would have gotten up early and hunted and caught some wild game for ourselves.
Gotcha. As a matter of fact, you woke up first.
Yes.
And you look over to Tito, who's sort of curled up in a ball there, who is sort of made comfortable within this little nest, shaking violently in his sleep.
Oh no. Maybe he's in no fit shape to do that then. I'd like to examine him and look deeply into his eyes and see if I can glean what he might be going through.
Okay. His eyes stay shut, but I'm going to have you make a either a medicine or a nature check for me.
Yeah. It's a critical fail, but 8. I'm good with.
Maybe he's having a bad dream.
I'm gonna just rustle him awake, and then and just the universal call of what's ailing you.
As you try and rustle him awake, he continues shaking. His eyes remain closed, and he does not wake.
I hold the crystal top of the staff to my forehead, and then hold it immediately over to his forehead, and I am going to healing word as I whisper through the crystal into him.
Okay. And as you do that, his muscles begin to relax and loosen. His eyes open up, and he looks directly into your eyes.
And we have a moment of recognition, and I put my, again, since we've done this, I've tried to do this once before, where I put the crystal to my head and the crystal to his head, and I try to commune with him in a way that might give me a little bit more insight into what he's going through.
All right.
Now that he's in a more calm state.
And as you do, his brow sort of furrows, and he says, "It happened again. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. I can't sleep."
What do you see?
I keep seeing everyone dying. The dwarves come and they take us and they kill us.
They've come past our most southern borders?
They keep coming. They won't stop. We try and tell them to stop, but they just won't. It keeps happening. I can't sleep.
I think back to my first memories of being a very young child and myself and hearing of this being, this Tito, and I say to him, do you see anyone in particular in the dream? Do you see anyone of our brethren?
I see all of them.
All of them? What is their state? What are they doing?
They're burning.
Burning. No! I look out the window toward the rising sun, and... Would you like to go hunting with me? I give a signal, the universal signal of just the thrill of the hunt. We can try to remember what that once was like.
I just want to go outside.
Come with me. And I motion toward the window and the motion to take off and for us to catch our breakfast.
Okay, he goes and he takes off with you. Kellic and Olma, are you guys coming downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. Olma, you see Xavier winding his string back up, putting the bell back in his pocket before he opens the door to see Kellic there, and you all head down and meet Flynn in the little lobby area.
Did you find breakfast, Flynn?
Yeah, I hold up the half-eaten apple. There's not much, but, it's all right. And I'm reading this book here. You know much about the wastes?
Wasn't a major part of my studies.
Well, and I'll wave him over. Come here, check this out. And then so in the book, here, and I'll pull my map.
I walk over too.
In my map, hi.
Hi.
There's apples and fruits and stuff.
Thanks.
Okay, maybe you want to see this. So on my map, you see the waste,
Mm-hmm.
big desert, and then I pull the book out. And then here, it says that there was towns and stuff there.
When was this book written?
I don't know, and I'll try and flip to the front, flip to the back, see if there's an author or a date of anything.
Make an investigation check for me.
Okay. Regular. That.
DM, can I also probe my memory for anything I would have learned about the waste in my upbringing at Addersfeld?
Make a history check.
I made a natural 20.
A natural 20.
Yeah.
The wonders of not having disadvantage.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
Imagine.
Is this what this is like?
History.
I'm going to wait because you might get different information depending on what he gets.
Yeah.
That is a 12 for history.
A 12. Okay. Kellic, you wouldn't really know anything specific about it. I don't think you wouldn't have any personal connection. You just know for as long as you know, it's always been like that. And for what Flynn is describing, probably it's been like that for long enough to where no one really talks about it anymore, where it's just sort of a thing.
Okay.
So you scroll through this book and you don't find it in the front, but just on the last page in the back, you see a date written there that was just about 950 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So
It's a whole book.
quite a bit of time.
I found it. This book's old.
Holy light.
Well, that's probably why the maps are different.
Wait.
But what makes a desert take over?
Is this a orc affection? Or
No, I found it. I checked it out in the library.
and why did you check it out?
I don't know. It looked kind of interesting.
Well, if this map is to be believed, then the waste wasn't always
Yeah.
the waste?
Yeah.
Huh.
Wonder what happened and why those cities are
Not.
there.
Didn't Hayfried say something about storm in the waste. You know, when he was working with the Red Wolf.
Maybe we should ask him about it? Well, I mean, we're heading that way, right? Like, we're going back to...
Yes, but the waste is an enormous expanse.
No, I mean, like, we're going back to Hayfried, right? Because that's... We can ask him when we stop by.
We're going back to Hayfried?
I thought that was
is that closer to...
Right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. I see here now. Okay. Yeah.
So we can just ask him...
If he knows if the waste was always...
Yeah.
Do we know how old Hayfried is yet?
He's pretty old.
I mean, he was like a member of the Red Wolf's crew, so like...
But that was pretty recently.
Oh, was it?
That doesn't make that better.
No, but it might not, just might not make his information that relevant to a book written almost 1,000 years ago.
Maybe he read this book already. Maybe he knows just because he read about it, you know? He might have the information.
Do you think?
He knows about this storm.
The storm was what? No, the storm was what the creature in your head talked about.
I can't remember.
To him. So that would be present time. A storm in the waste. Go with me here. If there used to be places, cities, towns, in the center of the continent,
right,
of Elbor, and now there's an expanse of nothing. And within that expanse of nothing, the agents of chaos that follow the order of the Red Wolf culminate. Does it stand to reason that the waste could grow?
I flipped through the book a little bit more, see if I can find anything about that, because that scares me.
Make another investigation check.
Sure. That's pretty good. Hold on. A total of 20 this time.
A total of 20.
Does it talk about does it talk about them becoming a desert, or does it talk about the cities and how elaborate they are?
Yeah, so, okay. With that, a total of 20. What pieces of information specifically do you want to know?
How this area became a desert.
Okay.
Like what turned this into a desert? Because then maybe that'll give us an idea of like how it may become bigger or anything.
Okay.
We understand how it started.
Or if there's any kind of like within the context of the book, if I can assist with this, I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
But within the context of the book, if there's any indication of like the trajectory of these cities, of like how they were sort of doing ecologically.
For sure.
It's like, what happened? Like, what happened?
What happened?
What was that right there? Total of 20.
So, Flynn, you start flipping through, and once again, you're consulting your map. And looking at the waste, you begin to read a section of this book that talks about a spiritual capital of the world, like a great place of great spiritual significance, a place where the old god's presence could be felt most potently. And you see that possibly a temple, you don't know the exact structure of it, but you read of this point within what is currently the waste that was this spiritual capital of the world. And you continue to read more, and you look on the map, and you can sort of see how all of the nations, how Ganboldir, Ondale, and Kaldur, all of their borders sort of go directly into the waste. And from what you can tell, that spiritual center was at one point directly where all three of those nations came together. That single point where all three made contact with one another. That is now the center of the waste.
Did this capital have a name of any kind? That we can...
You don't get a name. No.
I'm just like my cheek is touching Flynn's as I'm looking over his shoulder.
Heads like going in the same, like left and right at the same time. Okay, well, there's a kind of an explanation, but that happened. Does it say like when that happened? Was that still like?
This book was written, it seems, just the way that the author is speaking on these events. It seems that this was written probably just a couple years after some incident.
Okay, so okay.
Your passenger said, your crystal dweller said that there's always more chaos to be had as long as there are gods in the sky. And I just like tap on the map in the center of the waste. If the Red Wolf exists in opposition to divinity, if its primary goal is to counteract divinity,
right?
What better place to start than the supposed spiritual center of the world?
I bet you no one's going there to bother him.
A storm in the middle of the waste.
Beware the coming storm? In the middle of the waste?
We should probably get to Hayfried.
And those ruins?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Oh boy. I wish I knew how the usurpation really took place.
The what?
The usurpation. The old gods were removed from the high mountain. And I always thought the high mountain was a figurative place, but maybe it's there?
You're saying you want to go into the middle of the waste?
I think if we were to, we'd want to be very, very prepared. And right now, I think we are not.
Maybe we start with the ruins. And then we take it from there.
If nothing else, we'll find some answers with regard to Zeta's condition.
Yeah. We have more of this to read. Maybe there's more answers in here.
Yeah, maybe we can switch off then and you can actually get some sleep sometimes.
Maybe. We'll see.
Well, all right. Hey, I'm not going to push.
I know how to read too.
Okay, Alma, you can help.
Can I just ask for a few things that I'd like to do during the hunting process?
Yeah.
While we were out and catching our breakfast, I just want to see if I would also actively be looking for other winged beings, owls, hawks, other types of birds while we're out there.
Yeah. If you would like, you can make a perception or a nature check.
Great. 23.
23. You actually see, just in the early morning hours, like it's not a flock of crows, a murder of crows.
Yeah.
You see, that's what it is. A murder of crows, just sort of on top of one of these houses, just sort of down the way. And after a couple seconds, one takes off, and the rest of them take flight to follow. Probably about 15 of these crows.
I would like to cast Speak to Animals and regard the whole murder.
Okay.
Yes.
What are you saying?
I'm saying, brethren on a smaller scale, have a favor. I don't know if you could possibly complete my request, but I look over to Tito, and my voice shakes a little bit. I would like to see if you could possibly shift some of your migratory patterns. I have a task that I'd like you to do if you can.
And just the crow that initially took off, that the other crows followed, flies up next to you and looks over to you and says, "Now, we're not much for doing favors for people. What's in it for me?"
I will give your entire crew the best feast they've ever had.
And he sort of looks back at the other crows and they sort of give him a little nod. Yeah, that sounds good to us. You gonna throw anything else in for us?
Yes. I will give you knowledge of the divine locations of even more feasts, the like of which could feed yours for years.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal. All right, what can we do for you?
There is a place. And I start describing the air currents as I would have remembered them from my journey from my homeland.
Yeah, for sure.
And I describe those air currents and the flight paths above the bays as they would twist and turn toward my home mountain range. You will find me due south to the next mountain range. Once you reach this place, fly due south and trace the mountain range you see, the first one you hit, until you find a large set of ruins. I would like to know what you see while you're up there. There's something I need to know. There might be people you see that are very similar to what we look like. And if you could, just tell me what you find there. And travel as fast as you can without exhausting yourselves.
It's up north, you say?
Yes, and follow the twisting currents as they lead toward the highest points of the north. And I describe the way that the currents, the major currents and arteries of how the winds pulse around Elbor, and where they merge and where they catch each other, and the relative, triangulation of where my home village is in the north.
Now, we're not really ones for cold most of the time, but, food around here hasn't been looking so good lately, so I think we can do for some relocation.
Based on my own knowledge, there may be other sources of food just waiting for you to eat it. Based on what could be settlements up there. As I say under my breath.
Yeah, we've been feasting on scraps like common pigeons out here, and I think we could definitely, take a vacation up north. What do you think, boys? And he turns around and everyone's, yeah, let's go up north.
If at any point on your journey back you get lost, or perhaps I'm not where I say I was, every day at dawn. And I shake my staff, and this just burst of purple-pink light emerges from it. I will fly high into the sky and cast out this beacon. And if you can see it from the horizon, that's where I will be.
Hey, you got it. As long as there's feasts to be had, you can count us in.
There is a feast on the end of your mission.
All right, and he takes his crew and he begins to turn around in the opposite direction and begins to fly north.
Did you just make a mob of crows because
Shreya
they're
joined
called
a gang.
murders?
Oh boy.
Tito, I hope your nightmares are just that, nightmares. But if they're not, one day we'll know.
And he sort of shudders a little bit.
And then after we eat our own feast of whatever we found up there, we're going to go back toward Addersfeld and join the rest of our crew.
All right, so Shreya, with your new companions off on their mission, you get back to the Deep Drowl Inn, and the rest of the party, you guys are a little bit surprised to see as Shreya and Tito come in through the front door, where you guys had all come down from your rooms. They open up the front door and then come on in.
Shreya, you weren't out ravaging someone's garden again, were you?
Oh, I give Tito a little nudge. Decided to go outside the bounds of the city for our morning watch today.
I have to say, it's nice to see you with your kin, I suppose, with someone like yourself. I know out here you can feel lonesome.
What did he just call me?
He's, very, and I stand up proud and confident and model for him the kind of person that Kellic just described.
And he walks over to Kellic, and
I
Tito
regard him with quiet fear.
See?
Tito walks straight up to Kalik and, like, uncomfortably close, face to face, making direct eye contact with you. And after a moment, gives you a little bow and then steps back.
All right. I try to, like, return the bow in awkward fashion.
Yes, it reminds me of my roots. I've set about having more reminders of my roots as well.
Good. Important, as we're coming to discover. And I kind of look over to Oma in the book.
I'm not paying attention to what they're saying, so I'm just like, what?
We were going to go back to Hayfried's and then start toward the Dakir ruins. Flynn and I looked at that board of his in the Iron Light, and we want to at some point make a detour to Nestle Valley, which is to the south of the ruins. Is that all right with everyone?
yeah, we can do that.
It's to deliver a message.
Yeah.
And maybe help with a conflict there, but the message is first in our minds.
Yeah.
If that's what you think is best.
As long as we hit it while we're out there, you know.
Yeah,
Before or after.
If it's safe and...
Whatever the easiest path is. We'll figure it out once we get there.
Improvise.
Now you're getting it.
I'd rather not be getting it, but...
I mean, I don't
Tis
want to
what it
fight in
is.
a war or anything, but like, I'm down to deliver a message.
Yeah, we'll have to see. They're having some trouble with drow.
Yeah.
Well, aren't everyone? I mean, you saw those
Don't
drow
know
in the
what you mean
tunnel.
by that, Halma.
I mean, in that tunnel with the spiders.
And the dead drow?
They had their throats slit.
Yes.
Somebody had trouble with them.
All right, but that sounds more like the drow had trouble with somebody else.
That's fair.
Anyway, Xavier, are you comfortable heading back to Hayfried's at this point? Or you're going to stay here, I suppose?
I was thinking we would stay here.
Right.
And he sort of nudges Zeta. If you want me to come back with you, I'm more than happy. I just thought
Not
maybe
necessary.
today I could really settle in and get a game plan going.
Xavier, are you doing okay? Do you need a little bit of gold to get you going?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I can.
You make gold?
I can manage.
You can
And
make gold?
He snaps his fingers, and a little piece of gold appears in his hand.
Whoa.
Pretty cool.
Teach me.
I can do that like twice a day. It's really not that
speaking
much.
of gold coins, guys, you totally missed it when I went to pick
You
up
haven't
Xavier
told them
today.
about this yet.
Oh,
This
what?
was my big thing. I was proud of it.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
then you just
Do you want to show
came
them
in
right now?
and it wasn't impressive.
us.
Do you want to show them? Actually, you can show them and then they can just meet me.
Okay.
What's she talking about?
Sounds good.
What's he talking about?
Oma, close your eyes, relax.
You're gonna need this, and I hand him one of the flat coins that has nothing on either side.
Yes. And he takes this gold coin. Oma, just
See you
relax,
later.
just like before. No one freak out.
What?
She's gonna be fine.
I don't like this.
He puts the gold piece over your head, and you feel that same sort of warm feeling in your chest roll over you, and you open your eyes. Once again, cage bars all around you. The rest of you see Oma disappear. Ta-da!
Oh,
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I mean, she does kind of do that.
Yeah.
But she meant to do it this time?
Well,
Or did you do it?
I
Was
think
it
the
yours?
last time
Well,
she
no, it
meant
was
to
the
do
gold
it.
thing that I put on top.
Oh, so
she's back in Hayfried's now.
So you need like a
Um,
gold thing to do it.
You need one of those specific gold things. I think
Okay.
almost got the rest of them.
Right, but I think that she does it without a gold piece, though.
And she, yes, but...
God, no
You
one
said
likes
she's
my
in-
stuff. I'm trying to come and help you guys.
No, it's really cool.
Oh,
No, so the thing is, okay,
Oh, my
so
goodness. My,
you'll be able to-
my.
Okay, so the gist of it is she's back at Hayfried's place.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
It takes her back there.
You should have started with that.
Hayfried's probably letting
Yeah,
her out of the
should've let
cage
that.
right now, but
Oh.
you get teleported back to Hayfried's into a cage that he's got set up. He said he was going to do more, so different coins go to the different cages,
Oh, okay.
and
Hold on.
it's a good way of
That's actually pretty cool.
trapping your enemies.
Yeah, so we could effectively run our own prison out of Hayfried's domain.
I don't know how much he'd be able to hold.
Sure.
I know that there's limits to the magic that he can contain.
I'm not aspiring to be Barrett
But-
Hastel over here. I just think it'd
You're
be
right.
good
Yeah.
to get those that we don't want to have to kill.
And Hayfried was saying that
To say
his
spot.
whole place in there is sort of like a suspension in
Yeah, it's
reality.
weird.
You don't need to eat or breathe or do anything. So they're fine in there. Once they're in there, they're set.
Tame environment.
Yeah. So you just put the coin piece on someone's head and then they go, or?
Yeah. The thing is, though, it's real easy to resist. Like, it's pretty much, if you don't want it to happen, it's not
Okay.
going to happen.
So I'll have to ask nicely.
You're going to have to ask nicely. Maybe
Easy.
tricking someone into it might work. But what Hayfried and I were thinking were probably if you knock someone unconscious, that's going to be your best bet.
Oh,
So if you're facing anyone,
yeah.
rather than dealing the killing blow, it might be, if you want information or anything like that, it might be worth knocking them out instead of killing them.
So she has the rest of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got 3 right now.
Okay.
Hayfried's making the other 2 cages probably as we speak, but he should have more soon if you guys are interested.
There has to be. I mean, it's an invaluable tool. I just worry about the limitations. I suppose we should be careful with it because it strikes me that if this were a solution, all prisons would work this way.
Huh.
So thank you and Hayfried both. That's an amazing achievement.
Also, I mean, especially in the time frame, not an easy thing to put together. I know that there are a lot easier ways to imprison people, as you saw in Oakenspire, so I wouldn't say that this is a common thing. But,
No. And not for nothing, that creature in Hayfried's prison did break those magical seals he had instated. So,
Oh, right.
we don't want to put all of our enemies in one place.
Speaking of breaking, it also took the breaking of a couple of Hayfried's more powerful items to make these, so he might be a little bit on edge. But
Okay.
but we made him, so he seemed content at the end of the day, and I'm
that's
not going
good.
to question
Yeah.
that.
Maybe part of him, just to sort of think about it out loud for a moment, maybe part of him would like to get rid of some of those old possessions, right?
He seems to have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. Maybe we can take some of it. Ask him.
Yeah, I think you've taken enough of his things without asking.
Yeah, you're right.
But
I
yes,
checked that book out.
of that library we can never return to.
Yeah.
You sure did.
Oh, man.
Well, it seems to be a good book. Xavier,
Actually.
Yep.
do you know anything about the waste? And if what it was before it was the waste?
Sadly, next to nothing.
Yeah.
Not really an area of expertise for me. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's really one of my blank spots.
It's all right. You keep on devising gold coins that transport people to alternate dimensions.
Yeah.
I think that'll suffice.
Do we take that one or do you want that one?
Which one?
Did it go with her?
Yes, it went with
Oh,
her.
it went with her. Okay.
So, right, we should take the conventional means. Probably. Not to waste your coins.
Right.
And now that I'm thinking about it, probably best that Olma and I didn't say goodbye, because, that's going to be tough. But give her
My face falls.
Yikes.
give her my best, and I'm going to see you guys again soon. So,
Yeah.
If you don't, if you vanish again, Xavier, I promise I'll make you pay for it.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Good.
Maybe just check in every once in a while, Can you
I do
do
that.
it? Can you do the message thing? Can
Yeah.
you reach out to people?
I'm always afraid that it's an inconvenient time. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to do it. But yeah, I can do it.
If it's inconvenient, then we'll find time. Right?
Okay.
Stay in touch.
I will.
She needs as much support as we can give her.
Yeah. Let us know when you find out anything.
I will.
Truly.
Send one of you guys a message.
Right on.
Right. Shall we?
Yeah, let's head out.
I do wonder what's to become of and I like try to say it sort of under my breath or mouth it kind of. Tito, I don't know if
you can see he's facing the complete opposite direction.
I just regard him like the caution I would give a wild animal.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Shreya, if it's safe for him to come along with us if we're to go south.
Oh, I think with us is probably the safest place you could possibly be, based on where he's come from.
I suppose.
He could be a good ally. And I whip out one of my javelins and regard Tito with it. And obviously, this being one of the primary weapons of the tribesmen, he could be an ally in battle potentially too.
He makes you look calm as a corpse, Shreya.
Yeah. I look over at him. He seems to have gotten a little bit better since he started traveling with us.
Yes, I guess progress is progress. All right, he's your responsibility, Shreya.
Yes, of course. More than you know.
All right. Let's go.
All right.
Savior, take care.
Pleasure. As Zeta and Xavier round the corner, you can no longer see them, you can no longer hear them, and they disappear into the city. Are you guys stopping anywhere, doing anything? You're just making a beeline for the teleportation circle?
I'd like to pick up some healer's kits on the way, if that's a possibility.
For sure. Yeah, there are a couple of general stores along the way, and then there are one or two like more specific medical supply stores. And as you walk in, how many are you going to purchase?
Flynn, might I borrow a couple gold for... I'm flush out. I gave it all to Faraday.
Interesting. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Thank you.
How much do you need?
Well, I'd like to buy a few healer's kits.
It's like 5 gold, good?
That'd be great.
Okay. And I'll hand him over 5 gold. I mean, you're using them on me, so I appreciate everything.
Yeah.
This is the least I can do.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay.
And each of them are 1 gold apiece.
Perfect.
So you get 5 of those.
Amazing.
5 uses.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that is pretty much directly on your way. You really have to go 1 street over only in order to get to this store, and then you head back to the main road.
Thank you kindly. Have a nice day.
And a half-elven gentleman sort of gives you a tip of his hat. As you head back to the teleportation circle, left, right, center, you guys get into the room and get yourselves back into Hayfried's void.
Don't struggle, Tito.
This never gets easier.
Always gives me a shake, you know.
And as you guys apparate into the space, you see Hayfried sort of just leaning back on one of his chairs, his feet up on the table. He's flipping through a book, and you hear Timmy up on one of these platforms, rattling through a huge thing of keys. And you see Olma in this cage, and he tries one key, and he can't quite open it. And oh shit! No, it's not that one.
It's okay, Timmy. Just try a different one.
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best.
I mean, do you have a pin? Maybe I can pick it
Maybe
faster
it's
than this.
Here, keys are all I have. Just give me 1 second.
I'm going to pull my lockpick set from my pocket. And I'm going to try to pick the lock from inside of the thing. Let me just try this, Timmy.
You reach your hands, but magically there is a barrier in between the bars. You're not actually able to reach your hands through the bar.
Oh, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Okay, Timmy, keep going.
That's why I'm trying with all these keys. He goes, and about 4 keys later, finally opens.
Maybe you should mark that one.
Well, the thing is, that one, if I mark that one that goes to this, then there are the other ones that go to other things in here, and then I would have to mark all of them, and I don't know, they're small keys. I don't know how I would be able to mark them.
Well, maybe you should mark all of them.
Okay, maybe I should.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but
I've also been working here for like a day and a half, so...
Well, but how do you even know time? Because it's like endless in here, so I mean, that could be a really long time.
Well, it's been about...
How many sleeps have you had?
I've had 2 sleeps.
2 sleeps.
But do you sleep every 8 hours or 12 hours? Or like maybe you don't sleep every day?
I don't know.
Is it kind of confusing?
It's real confusing. I want to go see the sun.
Oh, I bet you could ask to go see the sun.
Hayfried, can I go see the sun? Yeah, do whatever the fuck you want.
Go check out the
okay.
sun
And he sort of
breathe. Okay,
runs
but
off of the
before you step
platform.
out of here, before you step out,
Yeah.
it's gonna feel like all the air is leaving your lungs, and it's gonna feel really weird. But like, there's air on the other side, so you'll be fine. There's just no air in here, you know.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think I would have been better if I just experienced it. Now I'm building it up in my head. And now I don't know if I want to go.
Do you want me to go with you?
No, I got to do this on my own.
Yeah, there we go, Timmy.
This is a journey I have to take. And he steps through.
They grow up so fast.
How old is Timmy? Is he the same age
He's
as
like,
Olma?
he's older.
He's a little older?
He's older.
Like 15,
He's like
I
15.
thought.
Okay,
he's
that's
like
great.
15, yeah.
All right, but Timmy has left the void. Hey, we're back.
We're back.
We are.
Mainly because, like, you're closer to where we needed to go. You know, the ruins, they're closer to you. So we were like, hey, why walk all the way?
That's convenient, being able to teleport to places.
Dude, you're so cool.
Yeah, just figuring that out.
No, I mean, I've known it this whole time. But,
Yeah.
like, we really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Really, Hayfried, I don't know where we'd be without you. Lots more trouble, I suppose.
Yes, with the kind of alarm on trouble incoming now. And I look down toward the... Thank you for this again.
Hey, you're welcome.
And I try to flash it so that the eyes are like peering out
Yeah.
from the bracelet in all directions. Like,
And as you move it, it almost looks like the eyes are like darting into different places.
And we all kind of see this as he presents it.
Probably not. It's a
No.
pretty small.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to pick out the specific
Okay,
detail of the eyes moving around,
That's
but you would see the
creepy.
bracelet.
That is real spooked. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Do we have time to spend here?
I mean,
Spend how?
I'll walk over to Kellic and Flynn from my prison cell.
Mhm.
Are we leaving like right now, or do we have a little bit of time? I mean, I know time doesn't exist outside of here, so like we have endless time, but
I mean, it's not. Time still passes on the outside.
we don't know how fast it goes.
if it does time pass on the
I mean, it's pretty much 1-to-1. I
Okay.
have it set for
Oh.
1-to-1 right now.
Oh, okay.
He,
you can set it.
I used to be able to. It probably
Wow.
would take a
Take some
little
time.
bit for me
I'm
to
not
sort
saying-
of stretch that muscle out again.
I'm not saying we have to. I'm just saying like I'm kind of low on healing potions, but I have a recipe, and it looks like there's a good place to brew here.
how long does it
Yeah,
take?
My void is your void.
It doesn't take very long, but I do need someone who can cast Cure Wounds, and I can't. So, but
I
you can.
can't.
And I turn to Shreya.
Yes, I can.
And you can. And I turn to Kellic.
I know that spell.
So
Yes.
I can do all the mixture. I just don't have. Well, I need a ruby.
I have a ruby.
I could pay you for your ruby.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It would only be going into replacing the ruby.
I only need 25 gold worth of ruby.
I can get you one of those. And he raises his hand, pulls down one of the platforms, and on this platform you can see like these weapon racks
Mhm.
where there are spears and swords and huge hammers. And he walks over and he sort of looks through all of them, and he looks over and he sees this huge battle axe that has like gems encrusted on its
Oh,
hilt
man.
and everything, and he looks through it. Here's ruby. Here we go. And there's this ruby that's like inlaid into the actual metal piece of the axe, and he sort of wrestles it around a little bit, and eventually it pops out. And he grabs the ruby, puts the axe back on the thing, comes over, and says, "All right, here's a ruby.
I'm gonna hand him 25 gold.
Thank you."
Hey Shreya, I know you really like your bracelet. The other one that you used to have that we got the ruby from?
Yes.
Well, maybe one day you could think about letting me use it to make healing potions because, like, us being alive is more important than a bracelet.
Did that have a look at it? Is this a ruby?
The bracer.
The bracer,
yes. with the gem on it.
Yes, that's
yeah, it's a ruby.
That's a ruby.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying, just like I told Flynn, maybe think about it for the future because I have saved your life a couple times with these potions I'm making. So, I mean, there is some value there.
And all you need is a ruby to make one.
All I need is a ruby. Well, I would need you to cast Cure Wounds on it, or Kellic to cast Cure Wounds on it. But yeah, the big ingredient is a ruby.
I've actually got, and you can see Hayfried is in the middle of pulling down sort of an alchemy station. You can see different potions and little like burners, and you can see some different plants on there. And he says, some of the more common stuff on there just sort of like does its thing and regenerates automatically. The rare stuff doesn't do that, but they're more common items.
Yeah, everything I need other than the ruby is common.
Okay, I mean, you can use that as a work table then.
Yeah, while we're in this vein, I suppose. Did Shreya have the diamond, or do I have it on me?
I think you have it.
I reached into my bag and produced the rough cut
Yeah, I
diamond.
remember that, yeah.
Hayfried, do you happen to have the tools or wherewithal to make this into a usable component?
Gem refinery was never really my thing.
Right.
Back in the day, I had a guy that did that for me. There might be a tool or two that you could use on that platform I just brought down for Oma. Probably not. It's stuff that wouldn't be specifically used for that, but it might work if you're careful.
Okay. Well, maybe have a referral? Is your guy
Oh,
a
my
Red
guy's
Wolf guy?
probably long dead.
Okay.
Let's just say he was a human and I knew him about 150 years ago.
Right. Probably didn't make it that long then. I don't want to mess it up.
What are you trying
Yeah,
to
it's
do?
kind of
to it?
risky. I mean, I learned how to make this potion from someone who makes them all the time. So,
Well, aren't we the learned bunch in this
yeah,
group?
that's what I'm trying to say.
I know. Well, I'm sorry that I don't have this particular talent. Fine, I stuff it back in my bag.
So, Shreya, maybe you'll think about it with the ruby?
I will think about it, yes. Although, and I look back down at the bracer. Wouldn't even know the first thing about how to dismantle this thing.
I mean, Hayfried just pulled this from an axe, so...
I look toward Tito, and I look down at this bracer and this ruby. Look back toward Tito. I think prolonging life, especially if it's our lives, is important than using the arts of the death. And I unbuckle the bracer, hand it over, and I say, if it's for the cause of what we seek to bring about in the world, then I'll say goodbye to this for now.
Hayfried, do you want the bracer? I mean, sans the ruby?
I mean, I don't think it will be able to really do much without it.
No, but maybe one day you'll come across a ruby that fits.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I mean, not like you don't have room.
That is true.
And, I mean, it's pretty cool what it did. I mean, do you want to see what it does before I take the ruby out? Do you want to, like, feel it?
I mean, sure. And he takes it and he looks it over. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I'll take it, yeah.
Can you get the ruby out for me?
Yeah, sure. And he goes over to one of his workbenches and just grabs like a long piece of metal and very crudely just starts prying this thing out of the bracer.
Down with that.
And after a minute or two, comes back with a ruby for you that is worth 75 gold pieces.
Okay, great. I'm going to look at my size of ruby, and I'm going to look at that ruby, and I'm just going to try to break it, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, well, because you can't, like, use a portion of a healing potion. You have to use the whole thing.
If you ground it down to a powder and you divide it into 3 portions, that would work as 3 common healing potions.
Great. So I'm going to, do I see a hammer on the alchemy station?
Yeah. There's a couple.
Okay, here goes nothing. And I'm gonna find like a bowl, I guess, to do this in so that it all like can stay together. And I'm just gonna start hitting it.
Okay.
So I'm smashing a ruby with a big hammer
All right.
until
You see me slowly weeping in the corner.
I'm also gonna grind the one I have too. So I'm grinding
Okay.
like 100 gold pieces
Gotcha.
worth of ruby.
And before long, you are successful.
And then is there like a scale or anything? Like any way to
Actually, yeah. On
like
this,
on
this alchemy table, there would be a scale to
Like a-
measure
yeah,
measure
great.
components. Yeah.
Great. So I just want to measure the whole thing.
Mhm.
And then I want to slowly divide it into 4 equal pieces.
Okay. It's one of those weighted scales where it's got 2 platforms, and he's got little metal pieces that correspond with different weights. So you have to put one of the metal weights on one side, and it lifts it up, and then you gotta balance it back out. So it takes a couple minutes, but you are able to very confidently divide this up into 4 equal parts.
Awesome. Once I've divided them all up into 4 equal parts, I'm just going to like walk around the alchemy area, and I'm going to start collecting a few flasks, 4 flasks total. I'm going to get some cork lit tops. I'm going to find some distilled purified water. I'm going to find like a glass stirring rod, and I'm going to take all of it over to a table. And I'm going to slowly pour the correct amount of purified distilled water into each flask, so the right amount that I need, that I have from when I was taught how to do it. And then I'm going to I can use the scale to make sure I'm measuring the right amount into each flask. And then I'm going to take the powder, and I'm going to divvy the powder up into each individual bottle, flask. And then I'm going to take the stirring rod, and I'm going to stir each one. And then I'm going to say, Kellic, Shreya,
Yes.
now's when I need you.
Okay.
Do you want to?
So
Or?
I just need you to cast Cure Wounds on the flasks. I know it sounds weird, but
How many flasks are there?
I have 4 flasks.
You want to do 2 and I'll do 2?
Fair enough.
Momentary.
And I'll cast Cure Wounds.
Just helps us for later.
Tap the crystal to the forehead and then motion toward the flasks.
And I'll just wave my hand over both of the flasks, doing a dual cast of this thing, casting it twice.
Okay.
Momentary.
All right. And as you both cast these simultaneously, you see all 4 of these potions spark to life as the red within them and the ruby begins to glow slightly. And you see some tiny little bubbles forming at the bottom as you now have 4
It worked.
common healing potions. And as you have those potions completed, that is where we're going to end.
I want to hand one to everyone.
Okay.
2 of those might be a little bit grainy on the way down. The ashes don't quite dissipate.
Well, here, you
But
can have one of the
I'll
grainy
take
ones.
the grainy.
And Flynn, you can have the other grainy one. And here you go,
Okay.
Shreya, and I'll take the other
Will it
Shreya one.
Work okay?
Yes, go, we're fine.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Perhaps
You're
this one
welcome.
contained the old ruby in it. And I press it to my forehead. Press it to my forehead.
Okay, you all now have a healing potion. And that is where we're going to end today's session. We're going to call it right there. Thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see you all again next week. Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds.
Hey, nerds. This is Ethan. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. And if you liked it, be sure to like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms. We're on social media, as well as YouTube if you want to hop over there and watch some of our content instead of just listening to it. We're also over on Patreon, and we now have a Discord. So if you want to get into that Discord, we have an open chat that's just open for everyone. And then we also have some separate rooms that are Patreon only. So if you're feeling like you want to join in on those rooms and really dive deep into more venture forth, be sure to hop over to Patreon and subscribe over there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later, nerds.